He murdered 2 law enforcement officers decades ago, and now Stephen Bixby, an inmate on South Carolina's death row, will have a competency hearing today in Greenville. A judge must decide if he can be executed. Bixby was sentenced to death for the murders of 2 law enforcement officers in Abbeville County at his home in 2003. His execution was set for May, but was halted by the South Carolina Supreme Court. Bixby's attorneys argue he is mentally unstable to understand the evidence against him. The Supreme Court preferred a circuit judge determination if Bixby is competent, and that hearing is expected to last 2 days.
A Greenville County deputy is asking for your help to solve a cold case. The sheriff's office says it's been almost 13 years since Ali Perkins was found shot and killed. Deputies say he was found at a home on Laura Lane and that the shooting happened during a burglary or robbery. If you know anything, contact the Greenville County Sheriff's Office or Crime Stoppers. We got the number right there on your screen.
Well, South Carolina lawmakers are addressing skyrocketing insurance costs they say are threatening people, their businesses, and their homes.
7 News State House reporter Caroline Yaffa breaks down how the committee could help your wallet.
Lawmakers say the cost for insurance is too high for people in South Carolina. They're now working with insurance companies to try to find solutions.
It was incumbent upon these companies to tell us what's driving those costs to go up, what's making that happen, because they go through the insurance department on trying to get their rates either raised or lowered.
The meeting lasted more than 5 hours as lawmakers put their heads together to try to lower insurance premiums for homeowners, business owners, and individual ratepayers.
We can't guarantee it. But if you look at history, what happened in West Virginia and what's happened in Florida and what's probably going to happen in Georgia and ultimately Louisiana, it does have a positive downward pressure on rates.
So let me ask this question. So if you're asking us to do all of these changes here, but yet you can't guarantee me that the premium is going to come down, why the heck are we sitting here in the first place? Like, why are you telling me all this information to change something if you can't even give me a return on my investment?
Chair of the committee, Representative Gary Brewer, says the goal with these meetings are to create a bill that would lower cost factors and focus on other findings they see in these meetings. Brewer wants this bill to be passed in 2026.
We have this committee. We plan to put legislation together, and the whole goal of this legislation is to create an environment that will put downward pressure on their rates so their rates will come down.
He says the committee is trying to figure out why some companies can drop their rates and some can't.
If we have good insurance environment where we're getting more and more companies in there, it'll allow them to compete with each other in the free market to go after each other to help lower our rates, which helps spur small businesses.
Insurance companies say a big reason for rates going up is inflation. In Columbia, Caroline Yaffa, 7 News.
Representative Brewer says this is only a piece of the puzzle, and the committee will keep meeting to try to solve some of these problems for South Carolinians.
With cybersecurity, he tells us it can be easy for hackers to get inside what many think are secure systems.
Companies have a lot of outdated servers, or in this case, the government has some outdated servers that they forgot about, and those are not patched and not up to date. So what happens is attackers are really good at finding these vulnerable systems.
Or it can happen through phishing emails.
What they're doing is they're sending out these mass emails. Hey, did you order from Amazon? There's a problem with your order. And what they're trying to look for is the 5 people that ordered from Amazon that day that go, oh, there's a problem with my order, or the toll booth scam.
Wednesday, Spartanburg County released a statement explaining in part a limited number of personnel onboarding files containing employee information were accessed during the incident. And the county said most of the files were part of the public record. Some did include individuals' personally identifiable information, which made us ask,
what exactly are hackers even looking for?
They're looking for data and information on individuals so they can do identity theft, they can do monetary attacks, and they can cause harm.
This is not the first time it's happened to Spartanburg County. It happened in April 2023, but this incident was much smaller than the last, and the county is offering free credit monitor to its employees whether or not their files were exposed. But to keep in mind, Cole says government websites can be more vulnerable to attacks as opposed to banks.
You're going in and looking at state governments or state taxes, they tend to be a lot more vulnerable because they have complete records of everyone who lives in your county.
It's unclear as to how the Spartanburg County site got hacked, but it says it will continue to enhance security and implement additional measures to prevent similar occurrences. In Spartanburg, Lauren Miller, 7 News.
Cybersecurity experts recommend that people never open links or attachments through email, especially from external personnel. Well, it's been nearly 11 months since Hurricane Helene wreaked havoc on western North Carolina.
Yeah, people are still recovering. 7 News' Taylor Farmer rode along with the North Carolina Department of Transportation and brings us the latest on the progress that's being made.
NCDOT crews say progress has been made here in Henderson County, but the work is far from over.
In the nearly year-long aftermath of Hurricane Helene, the North Carolina Department of Transportation and contractors have been working non-stop in hard-hit areas like Bat Cave and Girton.
They are currently working day shifts right now, usually starting about 7 in the morning until 7 at night. There will be some night work, trying not to disturb the communities during the day, closing their roads.
Crews are still in the early stages of full-scale construction, with some of the most critical repairs just beginning.
They are currently in the first stages of construction. They are building the causeway in the river in order to get down there so they can start to build the permanent repairs, which includes the rock embankment and permanent retaining walls.
From bridges to rebuilt roadways, some visible progress has been made, but in many places, the storm's damage is still evident. In Henderson County alone, more than 50,000 tons of gravel have been laid so far, a stark contrast to the 3,000 tons typically used in an entire year. Flaggers and temporary lights now control traffic where two-way roads used to run freely. Those include key routes like US 64, Highway 9, and 74A.
When you've got a road that is completely gone, that just doesn't pop back up overnight. A lot of the work we've done, it looks good, but it's temporary. It's temporary work. So we're going to be building back better and more resilient.
Permanent repairs are on the horizon with crews preparing for the next phase.
The road's getting back as wide as it used to be. Next spring we'll be looking at paving and that kind of thing.
Officials say a full return to normalcy could take years and millions of dollars. But for residents, safe access in and out is a critical first step. Even for seasoned engineers like Mike Patton, the scope of the destruction is still a shocking sight. But he says mountain folk are resilient and they will build back better.
We're trying very hard to think about designs and how do we build things back more resilient for the next storm. Not Helene, you can't plan for that. But for the next hurricane that might do moderate damage, if we build back correctly, maybe the areas we're building back won't be damaged the next time around.
Crews here on site working tell me they have weekly meetings with first responders and community members as they continue to navigate the rebuild of this area and its infrastructure. In Henderson County, Taylor Farmer, 7 News.
Recovery from Hurricane Helene still has a long way to go. Some families have been out of their homes ever since the storm hit. Ripley Simone shows us how local organizations are trying to welcome them home.
More than 50 volunteers from local nonprofits are packing welcome home kits for families who are just now able to move back into new or repaired homes after Hurricane Helene. Nearly a year after Helene swept through the area, families are still putting the pieces back together. St. Gobon's Norton Abrasives facility in Travelers Rest, along with nonprofit Good 360, is leading an initiative to provide families with welcome home kits. Maddie Penny with Good 360 says the kits are filled with household essentials that may have been lost during the hurricane.
Towels, oven mitts, a can opener, pen and paper, just everything you need when you're moving into a home that can help kind of take it and get you off to that initial first footing.
Penny hopes the kits are a starting off point to get families back on track.
If it's 1 or 2 items off the to-do list, just give you that freedom to be able to move on to the next thing, the more important things.
Other local nonprofits like Homes for Hope will help get the kits to those who need them.
Hurricane Helene had a massive impact on our organization. It had a massive impact on the area, and so with these welcome home kits, it is allowing us to make sure we are further taking care of our residents that are in our home.
Dr. Keona Prude says help is still needed.
We did have some damages through some of our properties, and some of our residents kind of went through the ringer with it. They were, not able to maybe pay some of their bills, and had a lot of other issues that impacted them.
Good 360 says many of the items packed today were overflow donations from local businesses. In Travelers Rest, Ripley Simone, 7 News.